So today what I want to work on is a lat activation drill so that you can recruit more lat muscles during your upper back exercises. Things like rows or pull downs or pull ups. And the reality is most people don't really have a good understanding of how to engage their back. Now, if we think about this, like if you ask someone to flex their abs, they can flex their abs pretty well. If you ask people to try to squeeze their bicep, they understand how to flex the bicep. But if you ask people to flex the lat, the muscle right here along the side of their back, it sometimes baffles people. So today I want to show you an exercise that will teach you how to recruit that muscle so that you can recruit it more often during your exercises and get more results from the exercises you're already doing. So the first thing that I'm going to do, you'll see that I've got the bench set up here and I've got the bench set up into a tall position. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kneel down beside it, and what we want is ideally we want the elbow to be a little bit below the shoulder. So what you can see is right now my elbow is about even with the shoulder or slightly above. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slide a mat over here so that I can rest my knee on that mat and elevate my body so that now my elbow is below my shoulder just slightly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to recruit my lats by pressing down into this bench. A story that one of my managers once taught me when I was first getting started was, to recruit the lats, we want to think that for some absurd reason, we're stuck in a box. And the box is filling up with water, and to keep us from drowning, we have to somehow use our elbows to lift out of a box. Like we don't have arms or hands or something. We just have the elbows to pull ourselves out of the box. And so what we're going to do is, I find this works best with some type of resistance. Right now, this bench is going to give you resistance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place that elbow there, and then I'm going to press through that bench. I'm going to try to get my elbow to come to my side, but the bench is going to stop. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to push into that bench, and this muscle is turning on and firing. So here, I hope you can see the muscles are relaxed. As I push down, they're going to all contract. Hopefully you can kind of see that work and engage. Now I'm going to do this 5 times. The biggest mistake I'll see people make here is that they'll when they try to bring that upper arm down, because the bench stops them, is they'll pinch the shoulders up, right? That's going to get essentially the upper arm to come down lower by raising that shoulder up. I don't want that. So keep the shoulder down, just focus on everything coming down. Keep the shoulders down, arm comes down. The second most common mistake I see is that people will start to flex the bicep. We're very bicep dominant. We've talked about getting 2 tickets to the gun show for a long time. People are really good at recruiting their bicep instead of their back muscles. So if you notice as you do this, if you're really clenching this, 2 things to do. Relax the hand, open the hand. It's hard to flex the bicep when the hand's open. And get the hand out a little bit. If you stretch the bicep, it's harder to recruit. So from this position, really focus on bringing that elbow down, squeezing that muscle, and relaxing. Figure out what you have to do to get the lats to recruit and relax. And you should do this about 5 to 10 times to really get a good engagement on that lat. And then what you should be able to do is slide forward. You can see my elbows no longer touching the bench, and bring that elbow down to your side and squeeze this muscle. If you can do that and feel the lat recruiting, you now have a really good connection with that muscle, what we call a mind-muscle connection. That is going to be really great for lat pull downs or for pull-ups or chin-ups where you're bringing that elbow down to the side. But how do you use this on like a row exercise where you're bringing weight into the body and the elbows are lower and not so far rotated out? Well, what we do is we start with this, and then if you just rotate so that that elbow is in front of you now, and you focus on bringing that elbow down to the belly button with that bench resisting, you'll also feel those lats engage. Just to give a little closer image, you can see right here, relaxed. And then I'm going to bring that down, and the muscles contract all through here. Relaxed, bring down, and contract. And then same thing, when you bring that down, can you still contract those muscles? And essentially what that is that's going to be the same pattern. If you're bringing that elbow down towards the belly button, that is the same motion for the upper arm. The upper arm and the shoulder do the same exact motion as if you were grabbing a weight and bringing it into the body. That if you're bringing it down, the upper arm slides down, elbow finishes at the belly button. If you're bringing the weight back, like a row or a seated row or a dumbbell row, that upper arm swings down, elbow finishes near the belly button. So those two motions, both the sideways lat activation and the front lat activation, will teach you how to use the back muscles more when you're doing exercises like the lat pull downs, pull ups, or row exercises.